Hello aspirants, very good morning to all of you. So friends, welcome back to Anthropology PYQ series. So where we were trying to learn and solve one PYQ one day. So we are meeting every day at 11:30 a.m. and we are trying to solve one PYQ one day. And not only solving that, we are trying to learn it in a systematic fashion. So I hope you are enjoying and you are just getting benefited out of this particular series. So friends, let me just remind you the objective also. So the objective is that let's try to decode every question and let's try to master every concept. So that was the basic objective of our program. And my intention is not just to cover the previous year questions in anthropology. Rather, my intention is that you must and should solve them in a systematic fashion. So that's my aim. So friends, what I'm expecting from you is that so you have to write answers for these questions along with our discussions. So try to write whatever it comes on your way so that you will get a kind of practice. You will get into a kind of habit where you will be writing things in a systematic fashion. So you can write and you can verify your answer through the model answer and through the discussion that we are providing. So when you try to write, you will get to know about some of the issues. Like somewhere you feel some conceptual issues, somewhere you feel the issue of the finding examples, case studies, or all such kind of things, isn't it? So here, first and foremost thing that you have to do is that you have to start writing the answers. Remember the words of Rabindranath Tagore. You cannot cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. So what you have to do if you want to cross the sea, so you have to get into water. So you have to swim or you have to just take a boat and then you have to cross. So otherwise, unless you get into the water, you won't cross the sea. So that's where you have to remember it. So good morning to all. So good morning, aspirant. So now, let's proceed further and let's discuss about today's question. So the question of the day for us is, it's nothing but our write short notes on the following in about 150 words. So where the question is multi-sited, multi-species and multi-sited critical ethnography. So this is the question. So the question is stating like this: multi-species ethnography, multi-sited ethnography and critical ethnography. So friends, so this is the question. So let's try to learn about the basic approach, how we can answer this particular question. So if you proceed with the concept of the approach, so how you can just mention. So in the very introduction, what you can do basically is that you can simply define what is ethnography. So in anthropology, ethnography is very, very important. So ethnographic studies are very, very important. I hope you know the significance of it also, right? Now, after just mentioning what is ethnography, then you can systematically highlight about various types of ethnography that are there in the discipline of anthropology. So that's one thing that you can do. Then, in the body portion of your answer, there are three sections. So where we have to mention with respect to one part, you have to mention about multi-species ethnography. And in the second part of your body, you have to mention about the multi-sited ethnography. And in the third portion, you should systematically mention about the critical ethnography. So three parts of the question you have to address. So in each part, what you can mention. So simply highlight and simply mention what is it, what does it deals with, and like what is the basic who are concerned with it, and what are the basic examples for it. So like that you can proceed and you can just answer the body portion. And then in the conclusion, you can systematically highlight the role of ethnography and ethnographic works in the realm of anthropology. So in the realm of anthropology, ethnographic studies play a vital role. So you have to mention that also. So that's one thing you should mention. So I hope it is clear to you all. So is that clear for all? So is there any doubts till with respect to the approach of the answer? Right now, let's try to see what ethnography is. So in a very simple fashion, like in the introduction, you can say what is ethnography. So in simple fashion to say, in ethnography what we do. Ethnography is nothing but it's a systematic description of a particular culture with an immersive study. So what happens here in an ethnographic study, in an ethnography. So usually an anthropologist, he will take up a subject. Let's say, for example, the marriage patterns all across the culture, or marriage, or let's say, for example, Toda community. So there, the anthropologist will systematically try to study about the Toda communities in a systematic fashion, like that. He will try to explore about, say, marriage pattern, kinship system, or like the food pattern, or the clothing. So everything they will systematically study. So that's nothing but the ethnography. So here what you have to remember is that it is nothing but it's a deep dive into the cultural understanding of a particular group of people. So that's what the ethnography will be there. So you can just see here also. So it's an immersive study of a single culture through various methods. So usually the methods used here are the fieldwork experience, and apart from that, one of the important method is participant observation method. Remember, the method of participant observation to the realm of anthropology has been introduced systematically by Bronislaw Kasper Malinowski. So who is Malinowski? Malinowski is a functionalist who is also known as the father of the functionalism school of thought. So that's one thing. So this is what the ethnography is. Now, if you happen to understand some of the examples, common classic works of ethnography that we can see in the anthropology. So you can see in the picture, there are some traditional ethnographic works. So the Argonauts of Western Pacific, or the patterns of culture, or the coming of age in Samoa. So Nisa, the life of Woods and Kung woman. So these are all nothing but some of the classic ethnographic works. So let's see a brief understanding of this also, so that you will get to know some examples for the ethnographic works, right? So as we are dealing with the concept of ethnography, we should know about some of the scholars and some of their contributions as well. So I hope that is clear to you. Now, look here. So first, let's start with the Malinowski's point of view. So Bronislaw Kasper Malinowski, he has done an exceptional ethnographic study on the Trobriand Islanders. So Trobriand Islands, it's a part and parcel of Papua New Guinea, so in the Western Pacific Ocean region. So after systematically studying them, so he has written an account. That ethnographic book or work is known as the Argonauts of Western Pacific, which he has written in the year 1922. So you have to remember this, right? So what he has done there, so he has systematically done a field work among Trobriand Islanders, and he just mentioned about various aspects. So in this particular study, so Malinowski has introduced the participant observation method. So from 1915 to 1918, so Malinowski has had 2 visits to the Trobriand Islands. So where he beautifully became one among the member of the Trobriands. So what he did there, he tried to systematically learn the native language, and he tried to collect the questionnaire in their native language, and he tried to communicate with them through the native language. And that's how he had a habit of writing an ethnographic diary on daily basis regarding whatever he observed. So that was the thing that Malinowski has done. So that's one thing you have to remember, right? Then, if you see, we have another scholar, Margaret Mead. So what Margaret Mead has done, so Margaret Mead has done a systematic ethnographic study on the adolescence and culture personality in the Samoan girls. So in the Samoan girls, she has done that ethnographic study. So this work has been published in the year 1928, and what is it concerned is, this work has systematically questioned the Western assumptions about the human development. So in the regular classes, you might have studied about the culture personality school. So where Ruth Benedict, Margaret Mead, they will give their contribution. So she belongs to culture personality school. So that's one thing you have to remember. Then, if you happen to understand about the Radcliffe Brown. So Radcliffe Brown is structural functionalist. So he has done a systematic ethnographic work on the Andaman Islanders. which has been published in 1922. So this is another ethnographic work, right? So friends, here if you see from the perspective of Radcliffe Brown, so Radcliffe Brown was a student of W.H.R. Rivers, a British anthropologist. Do you remember that? So on the instance of W.H.R. Rivers, a diffusionist and a British school of diffusionist, so Radcliffe Brown visits Andaman Islands. So in the year 1906, and there he systematically collects a lot of information about Andaman Islanders. So then, after many years, this work has been published. So there he focused systematically on the kinship and social structure of the Andaman Islanders. That's one thing. And what does he do? So he has developed a systematic framework on the structural functionalism. So he quoted all the examples that he saw there. That's one thing he did there. Then, Evans Pritchard. You might have heard about Evans Pritchard. So Evans Pritchard has done a systematic ethnographic work on the New Year tribes. New Year tribes are nothing but a tribe, a matrilineal tribes of belonging to Sudan, South Sudan. So he has done an ethnography of pastoral society of Sudan. So he examined systematically the politics, kinship and religion of the New Year society. So you can see in the picture also. So Evans Pritchard with the New Year tribes. So they are all nothing but some of the classical examples of the ethnographic works. I hope it is clear to you. So friends, so this is where and this is how you can simply mention in the introduction what is the ethnography. So in a very simple fashion, whatever we have learned till now, so try to just recollect it. So in a simple fashion, so the word ethnography basically derived from two words. So one word is nothing but ethnos, and other word is nothing but graphia. So ethnography has been derived from two Greek words, ethnos and graphia. So where ethnos basically refers to the culture or the cultural behavior. Culture or cultural behavior, you can remember like this. And wherever you get the word graphia, so graphia refers to describe something or description of something. So graphia basically refers to description of something. So from this particular etymological perspective, if you see, so how we can define ethnography means it's nothing but it's a description of the culture of a particular society. So what kind of description it is? So it is nothing but it would be a kind of systematic description. So you should remember it. Systematic description means we'll be systematically describing about the various aspects of the culture. What about the marriage patterns? What about the family system? What about the kinship system? What about the economic organization, political organization, or religion or belief systems? All these things we will be systematically explaining in ethnography, right? So if you see from the perspective of anthropology, so friends, significant contributions in the realm of anthropology with scientific ethnographic aspects have been started by Bronislaw Kasper Malinowski. So if you see from the perspective of Malinowski, so Malinowski was one scholar who introduced the participant method. Participant method of fieldwork study. So through this, Malinowski has introduced a kind of systematic scientific study of the cultures. So this is where one contribution you have to remember, right? So this is what basically ethnography. So here what we do a kind of deep, immersive study of a particular culture. So that's what we'll be doing here. Then next, what we have to understand. So if you see from the perspective of ethnographies or ethnography, in the realm of anthropology. Ethnography could be different types. So there are different types of ethnography that we can study in anthropology, but we are not going to study about all of them. So if you see, there could be dialogue ethnography, there could be story ethnography, there could be ethnographies like the traditional ethnography, the postmodernism ethnography. So there are different types of ethnographies. So here we are concerned with three important types of ethnographies. So the first one is nothing but multi-species ethnography. Remember this, multi-species ethnography. Or you can also remember it, you can also mention like this, multi-species ethnography. And second one was multi-sited ethnography, the chief demand of the question, multi-sited ethnography. So have you heard about these terms earlier by chance? Anyone? No issue. We'll try to understand it. So then, it is critical ethnography. Critical ethnography. So friends, try to understand this in a clear fashion. So what we do here. So if you see in the ethnographic works would be generally, they would be anthropocentric in nature. Anthropocentric in nature. So what do you mean by anthropocentric? That means mostly we will just focus on the human beings. We'll systematically try to analyze the culture of the human beings only. So that's what we do in ethnographic works. But when we see from the perspective of the multi-species ethnography, what we do here means, so systematically we will try not only to study about the ethnography of human beings. It focuses on the ethnography of humans along with non-human species that are living along with the humans in a particular region. That's what we'll be doing in the multi-species ethnography. That means the multi-species ethnography tries to explore the systematic study of the human beings along with the non-living species of animals that are living in association with the man. So that's where how the non-humans, like be it could be the plants, be it could be the animals, be it could be the insects, be it could be the forest, so all of them will shape the culture of the human beings. So that would be the systematic subject of matter that we'll be studying in the multi-species ethnography. I hope that is clear to you, right? So let's say, for example, how a particular animal shapes the culture of a particular human beings, or how the particular plants shapes the culture of the particular humans or tribes. So that's what the subject matter of the multi-species ethnography. I hope it is clear to you. Now, what we do, or what is the subject matter of multi-sited ethnography? So that is another important aspect. So here what we will do, so here we will do ethnography. That means we will systematically study the culture of a particular area. What we do here, it is nothing but we will take up a particular subject. Let's say, for example, the marriage and kinship patterns. If this is the subject matter that we have taken as an ethnographic study, there what we'll be doing here, we will take up this particular subject and we will try to explore different places, different areas, and then we will systematically study this subject from multiple locations. So when we try to study a particular subject of anthropology at different locations, so then that becomes the multi-sited ethnography, right? So here what you should remember is we should try to study a subject from multiple locations. So this is what you should remember. So this is the core essence of the multi-sited ethnography, right? Then what about the critical ethnography? Critical ethnography usually deals not only with the cultural study, and it also looks into the critical aspects about the culture. So usually in anthropology, what we do, we will try to learn the aspects in abstract manner. We will never judge, or we will never try to just simply analyze and judge the cultures. But in critical ethnography, what we do, so we will it tries to explore the ethnography of a region along with the critical aspects. So where we will try to systematically project some of the loopholes in the culture. So this is what the subject matter of the critical ethnography. So where you can recollect one thing that you might have studied about M.N. Srinivas village studies. In M.N. Srinivas village studies, where he systematically explained the concept of dominant caste. So that was an example that we can consider for critical ethnography, where he systematically presented the concept of dominant caste, and there he also explained about various intricacies and various limitations and criticism associated with the dominant caste issues that are surrounding on that particular aspect. So caste study he has done, but he projected the issues also. So that's how critical ethnography does that particular aspect. So these are nothing but some of the types of ethnography, like multi-species. So along with humans, we will also study about the role of the non-human species in shaping the culture of human beings. So in multi-sited ethnography, we will systematically take up a subject, we will systematically study that from multiple locations, and then we will make it into a study. And then in critical ethnography, we will study the culture of a particular aspect. Then we will just analyze its strengths and weaknesses, and where we will try to mention about the critical aspects of that. So that is one thing we can remember. So this is how you can just mention in the body portion, you can mention what is it, and examples you can quote, and where you can also mention about some of the scholars who just extensively worked in this particular realm, right? So this is how you can keep your body portion of the answer. So then finally, friends, you can also conclude the answer by highlighting the significance of ethnography. So ethnography plays very vital role in the realm of anthropology, because without having a systematic work of a particular culture, so we cannot systematically study human beings. So that's where, like what we will be doing, we'll be systematically studying about human beings and the different cultures with the help of the ethnographic studies. So you should remember all of these scholars, at least 3 to 4 works you must and should remember. So this is one thing. So that's all for today. So today's discussion. So the question was this, like to just recollect you, the question was with respect to the multi-species, multi-sited and critical ethnography. So that was the question. So we have systematically done with the approach, we have systematically tried to understand the basic concept of the ethnography, and we tried to saw some of the basic or classical ethnographic works, and then we tried to learn them in a systematic fashion, and then we have also had a discussion with respect to the demand of the question also. So that's it. So that's where let's try to wind off today's discussion. So we'll meet again. So yes, good question. So question is from Pragya. So sir, can you please explain from which part of the anthropology syllabus this question correlates? Very good. So friends, if you happen to see from the perspective of our anthropological theories and thoughts, there you will have a topic that is the postmodernism. In postmodernism, there you can see the different types of ethnographies. So usually in postmodernism school, so where you can have a comparison between the traditional ethnography with that of postmodernism ethnography. In postmodernism ethnography, we have different types of ethnographies, like multi-sited ethnography, species ethnography, critical ethnography, like that. So it belongs to the postmodernism school of anthropology. So that's where, from that section, the question has been asked. So that's with respect to the relevance of the syllabus section. I hope, is it clear to you, Pragya? So any further doubts for anyone? Right, I hope the doubts are cleared. So friends, we'll meet in tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. and if you want to download and if you want to get more such content, so you can also join the Telegram channel of mine. So you can type Anthropology Guide and you can join through this link, or you can scan the QR code and you can join. So that's all for today from my side. We'll meet tomorrow again at 11:30 a.m. So till then, try to write answers for all the questions. Do not miss writing the answers. Our objective is not only to learn and solve. Our objective is also to write answers for this. So it's you have to put your efforts. Right, friends? So thank you all for joining with me for this session. So we'll meet again tomorrow. So thank you. So thank you, Sirisha. Thank you, Pragya. Thank you, aspirant, and all others who joined through online. So we'll meet tomorrow again at 11:30. So on sharp 11:30. Thank you all.